Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. I can't keep track. Happy Blur's Day. We've got a live interview today. I'm mixing it up. For those who don't know me, my name is Mike Gilman. I am a career coach, author, and now I'm going to become an interview expert. So this is our trial run. Our initial run here, and I thought it would be really cool to introduce you to one of my team members at High Five Career Coaching, a very valued team member. So I'm going to bring her on in just a moment. Her name is Jewell and Jewell is everything behind the scenes at High Five. Okay, she takes care of all my marketing. She takes care of my website, all of those things, customers, reaching out to different clients of mine and whatnot, making sure they're all taken care of. And I could probably list off a dozen things, but I'll let her do the talking. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring her on, and we're just going to have a conversation. I'm going to she'll have an opportunity to share a little bit more about her, and so you'll get some more insight into the High Five team. So I'm excited about this. Feel free to comment or ask questions. We'll be happy to answer them, most likely afterwards, but feel free to say hello and drop in and spread the good cheer. All right, so let's go ahead and got Jewell. Hey, Jewell.
Hi, everyone.
All right. Well, thank you for willing to be my guinea pig.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Interview. I'm not even paying her to do this. Well, you can tell me if I'm paying you to do this. Anyhow, it's exciting for me because you've been an amazing part of this team. So why don't we just start it off with kind of a softball question, and we'll move up from there. But what's been your favorite job?
Ooh, favorite jobs. Well, besides working for High Five, of course, I really do love working for High Five. My favorite job is probably it was like my first real job when I was in college, like my first office job where I was actually doing things that related to what I was studying. I worked for the San Diego State Department of Early Childhood Education, and I remember I was an advertising major at State, which is in the journalism department, and someone just posted on the journalism department Facebook group, we need someone to do social media for this, and no one's applied, you guys should apply. and I was like, I should apply for that. And then I did, and I ended up, I worked with this great woman who ran the outreach for the program, and it was just great because it's one of my favorite jobs because it was the first time I got to it wasn't the first time I got to apply my social media skills and what I was learning in school, but it was the first time I got paid to apply it, and that was very cool. It was a lot of fun, and plus it was the Department of Early Childhood Education, which is just something interesting and useful and something I didn't really know anything about. So I learned a lot about a world I didn't know anything about. I didn't know anything about teaching early, young little babies and things like that.
Oh, that's so funny. I actually volunteered at that Early Childhood Education Center.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I remember vividly. I'll share it for another time, but there's some very precocious kids. Let's just say that. in that childhood education center.
I can imagine.
It wowed me. So you were doing that while you were a full-time student there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and your journalism, pursuing your journalism degree?
Yeah, it was really cool. I loved my program. I remember I always loved journalism, so I thought, oh, maybe I'll be a journalism major. And then when I learned that they have an advertising focus, I was like, that is what I am interested in. Like, I love to write. I love branding. I think about it all the time. And so that was really cool. It was a really great program. I highly recommend it to anybody who's interested in social media or marketing or anything like that.
Awesome. So a plug to other potential Aztecs out there.
Heck yes.
All right, cool. So, and maybe this is while you were there or just in general, but who, I mean, as a coach, I'm always interested in these things. And I ask my clients this question, so I thought I would just ask you, but like who inspires you?
That's a great question. I mean, really my family. It's like it's a cliche answer, but it's the truth. My mom is a teacher. My sister is a speech pathologist. My dad is a million different things. They're just inspiring because they know who they are, and they know like what their purpose is, and they've always given me so much love and support. So I think that's something that, like, just being like supported in your world and your life and your community, like, can be such a powerful like source of motivation and inspiration. So they're probably my biggest inspirations.
So how does that play out like in your everyday work? I mean, is there a connection that you see that it just what you brought?
I think it just, like, growing up in that environment and having them as on my team in general, it just makes me feel confident, and it makes me feel able to try new things and maybe extend myself in ways that I am not sure about, because I just always know I have a base to rely on.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, yeah, I mean, having that solid foundation, right? It sounds like you can take more risks or chances and things. So,
Right.
so how then, if you look back over the last year, and I know you and I have had quite a year. It's been an interesting year, and everyone else out there watching this has had an interesting
No kidding.
year. Oh my gosh! So, how would you say that you've personally grown or professionally grown over the past year, or even the last 6 months during this whole COVID situation?
So many things, so many ways. I mean, that what we just talked about is one thing. Just this whole, like, COVID happening, everyone is suddenly thrown into some sort of crisis mode at any given moment. And so professionally, like, learning how to manage that, in addition to, like, wanting to be good at my job and wanting to stay connected with my community. I think it's been a huge growing and learning experience, not just probably for everyone, but definitely for me too. And another thing is that this year has been unique, not just because of COVID, but for me personally, feel like I've started to see my own, some of my own, like, skills and all the experiences I've acquired related to marketing and social media and branding. I've started to see, I just feel like I've gotten a deeper understanding of a lot of things that can only come from experience. And, like, I'm young and I'm still really early in my career. So I've never had that experience before. I've always just been working on what I already know. And now I finally feel like my experiences are starting to compound my own wisdom, basically. Like,
It's not just in your head anymore. It's in kind of internalized now.
Yeah, and I'm sure in many jobs they're like this too. Like the landscape of marketing changes every month, every day. Social media changes there's a new algorithm every 4 months, something like that, you know? So it's cool to be like, I think because of the nature of that change, it gets internalized more and more. Like this is the stuff that is always going to be true or is always going to be something you're thinking about. And this is the stuff that you're going to always be adapting to. So kind of both of those things at play at once. That's this past year has been a huge like melding of that for me.
Yeah. It's a shift, isn't it? Like once you kind of feel it in your bones and you kind of have that sense of knowing, right? Right.
Totally.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you like to stay connected to the community, and so I'm curious, are there any particular causes you're passionate about, or how does that play out for you in terms of this day and age? I know a lot of people are looking for that sense of purpose and whatnot.
Yeah. I've been over the past year and especially the past few months, that's like something I've been trying to plug into a lot more. One of the first groups that kind of started to teach me about that is a group in LA called K-Town for All. And they started out as like one person. It's not even a nonprofit. It's just a grassroots group of people. And they do outreach to people who are unhoused in the community. And it just started really small. Like we're just like, trying to meet our neighbors and trying to help them because there's a lot of big forces coming down on their neighborhood. That's like a rapidly gentrifying neighborhood. And like LA is like, it's just like the worst when it comes to like getting people services. Maybe not the worst, but it's pretty bad. So
there's like 35,000 homeless people there. I mean,
they have 60,000.
Is it up to 60 now?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a huge problem, and obviously it's not being addressed. So I just started following that organization and learning about them. And I had friends who were involved, and watching them go from over the past couple of years, like watching their growth and transformation and watching new people get involved with them, and also just what they do strategically, like how they do outreach, how they gain support, how they put pressure on politicians. That has been so educational, so educational. And the other thing is that it has helped me plug into, like, maybe those aren't where my skills are or where my I'm aligned to in terms of personality, but they have, just because they're so connected in the community, they know tons of other groups doing other types of things or similar community outreach that has gotten me plugged in with just learning more and finding out like how I can really plug into my community and be more of service than I ever have been, because I wasn't looking for it and I didn't know how.
Yeah.
So that's a really wonderful organization. They do amazing stuff, and just just being exposed to them in the first place taught me, so much, and they continue to teach me, like, and show me where I can be, just a better part of my community and be more supportive.
That's awesome. Well, maybe after this we can pop in the organization's website or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Kind of spread the word on that. And so what, Jewell? What I know you have a lot of secrets because you're kind of private. So I'm gonna try to pry one out of you. So what's something that's maybe kind of an unknown secret or secret talent that might be better that you have?
I have a secret talent slash past, which is that when I was in high school, I played roller derby.
Really? Wow. Your high school had an actual roller derby team, or was it
I
like
wish that would have
fun?
been awesome. No, we had um, my friend and I watched this movie about roller derby when we were teenagers, and we looked at each other and we were like, we have to do that. We
Oh,
have to do. And so San Diego used to, I don't know if they still do, but I think they still do. They used to have a major roller derby bunch of teams. They did championships and competitions every month at a track in Del Mar, which is all gone now. Everything is changing. And so they literally just started a kids team. So me and my friend joined, and I stopped doing it when I left for college. But I still roller skate, and it taught me. I mean, I've always skated. I love skating. It's like I rollerblade, I roller skate, but now I know how to fall. I know how to crash. I know how to. I know how to turn around, and I can do
wow.
lots of fancy things.
Did you knock some people down?
I can knock someone down very easily. I can make
You
someone
wear
go faster.
full on, helmet and bandana and the kind of that tough girl, image,
Helmet, um, full glove, wrist guards, giant knee
Oh,
pads, giant elbow pads, and lots of bruises.
oh my gosh, that's amazing. I've watched it a few times and many years ago, but I never quite understood what the objective was, other than to try to just knock everyone else down.
It does have rules. There is a sport. It's actually interesting. Um, there's like normal classic roller derby, which has a very stringent set of rules, and they sort of update the rule book every year, and can be very professional if you want it to be. And then I forget exactly what it's called. It's like basically like renegade roller derby, which is like what you would see in like the 70s on TV, like where everyone's just like fighting. It's basically like wrestling.
Right.
So and of course there's some overlap, but there's definitely two different worlds.
It's like it's like real life wrestling and what they used to call pro wrestling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
WWF or WWE wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah, very different. Cool. Well, one last question to wrap this up. And you can answer this however you want, but what's something that you're working on that you're excited about, or what's something that we haven't talked about that you want to just share with our viewers?
Good question. I'm not really working on anything right now. Just working on keeping myself calm and sane during COVID. So and you know what? It's going well. So claps for me. I don't think I have anything. I think this was really fun, and just even being able to chat about these things was really cool.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, thank you for being my first guest.
Yay!
Awesome. Great job. And I learned some new cool stuff about you. So, which is really neat. So we can talk about that, some more offline.
Awesome.
I do want to let our viewers know that on Friday I'm going to be doing another interview with Pat Libby, whom I adore. She is a colleague and friend, and she's a nonprofit expert in San Diego, consults to, just about any nonprofit in San Diego. And she's definitely an authority. So because High Five Career Coaching is very focused on socially conscious, purpose-driven organizations, and that's kind of where we're going more and more and serving those types of clients. I'm going to be interviewing people like Pat and others who are doing that work. who are doing that work, and either leaders within the organization or supporters as consultants or service providers to those types of mission-focused organizations. So tune in on Friday. That'll be at noon Pacific time. And if you have anyone you'd like to learn more about, let us know. Message us on this Facebook or LinkedIn or Periscope or however you're viewing us, YouTube, and we'll reach out to them. So thank you, Jewell, for today.
Thank you for having me. And I'm so excited for Pat's interview. She's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So, all right. Well, take care, everyone. And hope to see you on Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.